Good morning everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today you join me out in the project. We're out in the little Fiesta ST150. Just going to take it for a drive, just try and get a bit of a better feel for it. We've done a tiny little bit of work to it in the past couple of days, which is the left rear wheel bearing. Yeah, when we put two new tyres on the back par ones, just to sort of get us through, get it sort of a bit more roadworthy. Obviously one had the puncher in it, so that had to be done regardless. But yeah, we found out it was the wheel bearing, not some step tyres making a bit of noise. There was actually a little bit of play left to right, but quite a lot top to bottom, so that obviously wasn't good. So that got done. That's like 50 quid spent on it already. It's not a lot really, but I'll put a picture up, and it looks like, I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but it looks like the wheel bearing's been done previously, and it might have been seized on, because there was a slight groove in the shaft, like the hub, where it looks like someone's taken an angle grinder to the previous bearing that might have got seized on. So that's been cut off and done at some point, and then now we've just done another one. So that's all good now, finally. Yeah, just going to be a little video about driving it, just see what I think it feels like, really. Now we can sort of drive it. Now obviously I'm not going to go too mad on this today, because it's on standard Fiesta suspension, not ST suspension. All the tyres are a bit of a mix and match. One's a budget, all part warns and stuff, so I don't really want to try to be testing the limits of grip today. Even though it's dry and it should stick, like, handle fairly well, I'm just out for a drive. I'm not ragging it, but kind of got to rag the engine a little bit, because although these were quick back in their day, and the power that we're all used to now, it's not got a lot of go anymore. That being said, a good service would probably give it a good help. Not really using second gear, because obviously it's a naturally aspirated engine. You sort of got to keep the revs high just to keep the power there, really. Unlike my Mark 7. I mean, that sounds loud, but that was only 3,000 RPM, and that's just coming into the power band. And obviously, if anyone's ever driven a Mark 6 Fiesta ST before, everyone knows it should have come with a 6th gear. So yeah, trying to keep the revs high is not hard, but it just makes a bit of a racket, especially with the exhaust system it's got. It's not the loudest one I've ever heard, but yeah, it can be fun. It sounds like it's going to get a lot of abuse, the engine, but at the end of the day, that's what we got it for. I mean, this thing it's like a go-kart already. The power steering, like, and the steering and that is a fair bit noticeably heavier than the Mark 7. So that, coupled with, it's not really a shorter wheelbase, it's literally a couple of millimetres difference between this Mark 6 and the Mark 7. So that, coupled with a couple of centimetres off the height and the width and the length, but pretty much the same wheelbase, it feels much more like a go-kart. I think it's got a bit more of a mechanical feeling to it. Right, so we'll do a little bit more of a update with the car and what we've done with it so far. A couple of little bits, we're just taking some trim bits off vents around and that, just to tidy them up a bit. They were sprayed black, they were silver originally, and they got about 3 different layers of paint. They got green, purple and black all sprayed over the top of each other. A bit of a mess, so we've taken them off to rub them down and try and give them a bit of a fresh coat of paint. Right, interior wise, we're going to start off the most cliche and cheap sort of ways. We're going to strip out the interior, keep it nice and cheap for now. Whether we'll keep the carpet in just to make it look tidy or not, I'm not sure, but we'll half cage, a couple of bucket seats on the front, not specific on brands or anything like that, just literally just try and make it cheap and cheerful. Right, but yeah, once we get to sort of another point, we'll like start looking at track day door cards and maybe eventually some plastic windows, like polyurethane windows or whatever you want to call them. And again, as previously mentioned, the suspension's been changed. It was on coilovers by not the last owner, the owner before that, and it could go through drive shaft. So the previous owners put standard suspension back on it, but it looks to be standard Fiesta suspension springs rather than ST150 springs. So even if we get a set of springs for that, it's going to handle a lot better. But we'll probably go for coils eventually, because then we can obviously start tweaking it and that for track setup. So that's that. Bodywork wasn't too bad. We gave it a good clean, and the front end machine polish a couple of days later, and the paintwork come out actually pretty nice. I think it's probably the first time it's ever been done. But yeah, we're not trying to concentrate on that too much. Performance wise, we noticed with the manifold we're getting a hell of a lot of heat, obviously, but obviously because of that we're probably going to get a bit of heat soak. So what some people have done on the forums, they've created, rather than wrapping the manifold in heat shield, they've, well, like, you know, the gold heat reflective tape or whatever, they've made an actual heat shield just to sort of cover that area up, just to try and reflect the heat back down, to then help with the induction and everything. So we could either go one of two ways with that. I think wrapping it would be easier, but someone said they can crack if you wrap them, whether that's true or not because of the intense heat, but anyone might find out, I suppose. So yeah, there's a little bit of an oil leak, obviously you can't see it, from the gearbox and the drive shaft seal, so that's going to have to be fixed at some point, and that could be maybe one of the reasons that we're getting a bit of a crunch going into second gear. I'm guessing the oil's probably never been done on it, so it could be getting a bit low, so it's time for a fresh fill up, and hopefully that could get rid of some of the problems that we're having with the gearbox. But other than that, she's doing all right so far. Right, so that's me pretty much done really. Just a little update on the car, what we found with it, and where we're going to try and go with it. So if you'd like to see more of this car, smash a like, subscribe for more content, and I suppose we'll see you on the next one when we possibly start getting into stripping it. Just got to learn that clutch a little bit better. But until then, smash a like, subscribe, and I shall see you on the next one.